Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Welcome back. Great action today. 17 games, MLB. Red Sox do it again, 15 in a row. Yankees go down in game one of a doubleheader. Cincinnati leads Seattle 5-3 in the ninth. Arizona all over the A's 14-2 in the sixth. And the Nats open it up now 8-0 in the ninth against Colorado. What do you have? You got the Cardinals?
Yeah.
1-0 in the bottom of the seventh. What are you gonna do? Jump in? You gonna lock in a profit? What are you gonna do?
It's amazing.
Hopefully no Riley O'Brien situation.
It's amazing how much your mood can change. I had a bad beat. I had under 7.5 live bet on the Yankee game. What are you throwing Ben Rice that pitch?
Yeah.
He's the only hitter in the lineup.
That's he's on fire.
Yeah, you got 3-1 count. I get it, but just put walk bases loaded is fine. And then you get 2 lucky wins or fortunate wins. Mood completely changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All in like a window of like a couple hours.
Yeah, Doug Kazarian joining us. WNBA 2 games final earlier today. You made a good case for Seattle. I mean, they just played, and it came down to the wire, and then Collier was back, and they were catching double digits. And they had the lead at the half.
Yeah, I always make this joke when a player comes in or a player goes out. It's like, just because Collier's playing, they don't get to play with 6 players, right? Someone has to come out of that lineup. Now, she's great and will be amazing and will be an MVP-type player, but there's going to be an adjustment period, and that whole offense for the Lynx is really sort of seamless, right? They're all connected on a string, best coach in the league. So there's definitely going to be some rust or an adjustment period. All the role players who are going to have less usage. Also, it's a bet on Seattle. At home, getting 10.5. The Storm team at full strength, mind you. Even if Melbourne's out, they're not good. But they're pretty good. And they're figuring out how to use Malanga, who's a total weapon.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. So it's the return of a star, fading that team in that spot?
Well, it's part of the equation. I mean, if they're off a loss and in court, then that's different, right? Like they jumped out in the third quarter like a 9-2 run when they were down a point at half.
Yeah.
You just can't assume that it's going to be peak form.
I bring that up only because last night on VSiN Primetime, Femi and I were sitting here and we started doing the sports betting commandments that we like to turn to, like the situations.
I saw that.
Because I've gotten it to a point where I'm finding those strategies are more successful for me these days than the X's and O's, the matchup that's going to get exploited. Thinking, I know sports, I can win at sports betting. Sandwich spots, someone suggested you guys with the Malinsky special. In the WNBA, is there anything like tried and true that you like to go to routinely?
Well, I actually think the old school NFL ones all apply because this is a league that's relatively new. And I don't say that because of 30 years. It's a newer schedule, right? So most games they started playing was, I think, last year was 44. They have new spotlight, new everything. The media scrums at practice are different. Look what's happening with this Caitlin Clark needle, right? That is like similar to the Tiger Woods. Like the players don't know how to respond to the jealousy they have of all the commercials that they have to watch. That's why the Fever get everyone's best shot. So it's a new league, meaning like a new landscape, if you will. So some of these, it takes certain sort of professional maturity to come off big wins. We're going to have a couple games tonight where there was a big win by the Liberty in overtime against the Wings. And if Paige is out again, like it's going to be a really interesting handicap. That's something you would probably use, I don't know, mid-2000s in terms of handicapping the NFL.
It's the last day before the All-Star break. I do like Chicago, New York over coming up in less than an hour. What do you think? And Chicago's been playing a ton of high-scoring games.
So my favorite play in that game is the Sky team total over.
Okay.
Okay, because they push the pace. They've been pushing pace a lot. And, obviously there's some Skylar Diggins issues, but she's sort of like a methodical, like Andre Miller type, where just kind of pounds the ball and size of the defense. Everyone else just runs. And with Sydney Taylor in the starting lineup, she wants to push pace at a breakneck speed, and I think they can pour it in. And, the Liberty defense is nothing special. Brianna Stewart is, by the way, 35-1 for Defensive Player of the Year if you're looking for a bomber.
All right.
But I also think just like you said, the senioritis of the final day of the regular season before the All-Star break, I think the dogs bark more. Now, it's weird because this game is in Chicago. The weekend is in Chicago for the All-Star. So I don't know if there's like events you have to be worried about. Like there are some senioritis going on. There's definitely some focus that might be lacking.
Sure, excellent. The Aces have been unbelievable off bad losses. Now they take on. They just did that in the last game. Now they're 6.5 tonight against Washington.
I think I'm like 1-46 on my bets with anything involving the Mystics. Side, total, quarter, hat. I don't know what this team. They call themselves the Young Hoes. Because they love it. They're embracing that they're the youngest team in the league. They have all these new pieces. and they do the celebration. They have the W tunnel. They're tripping over each other when there's, that old meme with like Roy Williams dancing in the locker room.
Yeah.
They do that like after every game. They pour water on the coach and things like that. They go bananas. And this is a team that's right on the cusp of the playoffs, and they're really good. They have an excellent front line. Their backcourt's suspect, but when they hit threes, basically Amor is their point guard next to Citron. If she's hitting threes, like I can't win a bet against them or on them, like because they're so inconsistent.
That's my favorite thing to find. Like Martin Perez is pitching today for the Braves. That's my version of that. I'm never on the right side of Martin Perez. I'm never on the right side of Iowa football with Kirk Ferentz. I bet on them, they lose. I bet against them, they crush.
Yeah, my buddy came up with it. He's the Brett Favre theory. That was the thing. He in like high school and everything, he just couldn't win a bet.
What about the late game? Dallas and Portland. Beckers, I think, is questionable for this matchup, and it's currently Dallas laying 5.5 on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to play the Fire first quarter, first half. It's a really tough place to play, and they're going to come at you. And obviously, Wings, Fudd played the entire second half. They just are kind of thin, and they don't play defense to begin with. I think Portland's going to try to run them off the court. Now, Megan Gustafson, who just got married, so it's Megan DeLay. I don't know if she's playing. I guess she is. She's a stretch 5, so they'll go 5 out, and they can bomb them if there's a, lackadaisical defense. By the way, you need a summer sports topic? How does a WNBA player who's making $500,000 get married in the middle of the season and miss 2 games?
Do you understand the fight?
She missed 2 games. None of her teammates got invited.
I'm with you.
Like her college teammates from Iowa, like Caitlin Clark, they weren't invited. It was a Saturday. I understand wanting to get married on a Saturday in the summer.
We don't even play. We don't get married during football season.
So I Googled, did any MLB players get married? You have summer wedding, right? So you got to find a summer sport. So any MLB players, there's been a couple, but they got married during the All-Star break on a Tuesday.
What if you're in the All-Star? That's not a lot of belief in yourself that you're not going to be invited to the All-Star game.
Why didn't she get married? She wasn't going to be an All-Star. Why didn't she get married on this Saturday?
Great point.
You got a whole
Who am
offseason.
I was going to tweet about it, but I'm like, everyone's going to come at me because it's a female. I was like, no, I'm criticizing her as an athlete, or at least bringing it up.
Well, what about this?
Yes,
You just take 2 days off, like I don't know.
I'm getting married. I obviously won the battle of no football season. We decided in April. However, I lost the part of the battle where I'm getting married Final Four Saturday. Worthy trade, no football, wait for Final Four Saturday.
That's good.
Doug's like, don't get married.
I don't know.
What are you doing?
You're going to be like Paul and goes, I'll go to the next one, like he told Mitch. He bailed on Mitch's wedding because he said, I'm going to go to the next one.
I know.
16 years going, or whatever it is, 14 years.
Vaccaro gave him a year and a half with the prop. He can't believe
Bad
it.
number.
Yeah, bad number. Is Caitlin Clark playing? It's off the board at DraftKings.
She's questionable, right? She's questionable.
Yes.
By the way, Sabrina Ionescu, it's been announced, this league, by the way, this commissioner's got to go. They should fire her this weekend with the spotlight.
Yeah.
Sabrina Ionescu, they said she declined the 3-point contest like Caitlin Clark. Well, it just came out. I can't decline an offer I never officially got invited to.
Stop.
So I was pretty surprised to see that.
This
They can't get out of their own way. So,
I thought Rob Manfred hated baseball. It's a Kathy Engelhard. Is that her name?
Yeah.
She hates the W. She hates the league. She's praying to get fired.
I spent a good 30 minutes to see if there was some dark web story on why she was previous to this, she was the CEO at Deloitte
Is this a
for
punishment?
4 years. Oh, no, I'm just curious, like, was she an idiot there and they kind of like gave her a nice exit? How did she become a CEO at Deloitte? Like, that's my other question.
That's fair.
She was only there 4 years, so I wondered if there was in some financial markets newspaper or something that there's some backstory that I'd be very interested in because she's been so inept from the start. And this is another example. Again, this is what I was talking about, a new landscape. This is a new league, so much spotlight. The broadcasts are terrible. Last week with Mitch, when I was talking to him about it, it's just the coddling they do on the broadcast. So get this. Up 1, they get the rebound like 5 seconds ago, 8 seconds ago, they get fouled. So if you make both, you're up 3. There was probably that communication. Do you foul on defense? Well, they missed the second free throw. So it was a 2-point game, and there's one of the players just literally like waving to the ref trying to foul at halftime, at half court. So they fouled her, and they made both free throws. We go to overtime. The announcers didn't once criticize it. Remember the meme of J.R. Smith not knowing the score and everything? No mention of it. The recaps, no mentioning it. The coddling of the players is insulting to the audience, and it makes us want to think less of this league because there are great plays, there are great highlights, there are great players, there are great coaching moments. So when you don't call out the bad ones, look, it happens. Everyone's, every league has a guy who's, baseball guys who don't know how many outs or whatever it is. If they just coddle them, and that's what makes brings the disrespect on themselves.
If you're going to do anything, there's criticism. There can't be no criticism in a sports league.
And you're not calling a player dumb. They did a dumb thing, right?
Yeah.
It was a dumb moment. Like, it doesn't mean the player. But again, some of the broadcast team are greener. It's just now they're in the spotlight and everything's heightened and everyone's getting defensive. And this is where the scrutiny comes. And then obviously the Caitlin Clark effect on all the ratings and the eyeballs are obviously interesting as well.
When did you cash at Circa Millions? 2 years ago?
2023.
Okay.
Yeah, it was T14.
Okay. Wow. Circa Survivor.
One play away from six figures more.
Yeah, it doesn't keep you up at night at all, huh?
The swing pass from Minshew on that Colts game where the winner got to the playoffs on that Saturday night.
I dropped the ball.
And he threw it on the back hip.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, brutal.
In fairness, Jalen Hurts probably would have done the same. If it makes you feel
I did have the Bucs against the Carolina Panthers on Sunday, and there was like the holding that brought back a touchdown, and then there was another drop. So I went 1-1 in those crazy games.
The Circa Survivor documentary is back for another season. This one's bigger than ever. Helmuth, Maddox, Meatball Brothers tonight. 7 all-new episodes kick off every Wednesday starting tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. Episode 1 takes you inside the growth of the contest. Now with $18.7 million on the line and the new Grandissimo, $100,000 to get in. And whether you play Circa Survivor yourself or love the drama of the season-long grind, must-watch TV. It's well done. Check it out every Wednesday starting tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on vsin.com. Indecision, day 23. What happens with LeBron? And a question we're asked a lot. How about a guy who used to work for the company? He can answer. What has happened to ESPN? So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Back on Follow the Money, round 2 with Doug Kazarian. He's doing VSiN primetime tomorrow. Hazard pay. It's only one game tomorrow. Nothing going on in sports in Major League Baseball, and he's sweating out Cardinals right now, 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th against the Angels. Okay, day 23 of LeBron. This is incredible because I know you always talk about the awards markets and these voters and it's the fake markets, but the slightest thing can move this on what happens. I talked about this earlier, that this high school basketball coach in Ohio who has 10,000 followers on Twitter yesterday tweeted he's coming home, and then the Cavs became the favorites after the big move on the Heat last week. And then you saw what happened on social media with the YouTube and the Miami Heat with the announcement the 27th, and now they're 51% on Kalshi. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I just got to remember, these awards, they're all fake markets. So when you were talking to Tony Rizzo, and he said something about Cleveland, you're like, but what about the move to Miami on Saturday? I chuckled because I was like, who cares? It's like one guy betting, like, no one really knows.
It's
unless
reacting.
It's inside information. Then to your point, the market move, all that. But we've had several weeks of this, and I have a small bet on plus 523 for Golden State because since I heard the Warriors, I thought it was all along. But my biggest beef is all these people who hate LeBron. Again, there's a lot to justify disliking him at times, right? I don't understand the hate for this. He's not sitting there like Costanza in the answering machine, give it a break. He's not just like milking it. I think there's a lot of moving parts to this. I think he wants AD if he goes to the Warriors. I think there's, Jerry, it's called negotiation. I do think there is.
Believe it or not, George isn't his home.
Yeah,
Is that what
it's
you're
like,
going?
Adam Silver's calling him. I tweeted that out today. It's like, because he wants to do the schedule. He's not sitting there. The guy's worth over $1 billion. He does not need this, midweek, midsummer radio time to like boost his brand. He's already, I really think they're bad at reading the room, as we saw from the decision. So maybe I'm wrong and they're just reading the room. But I don't think he's milking this for no reason. I think I think he's trying to play hardball with maybe a couple teams. The Sixers got involved late. Maybe there's another. I think when all is said and done, there's going to be a reason for some of the delay. And, maybe he's trying to, get Harden traded if he goes to somewhere else. Yes. I think there's dominoes here that they're trying to they have some leverage, and there's no rush to this.
But doesn't Miami feel like a complete heel turn again? Because the first time he went there, it was a heel turn. This would be a heel turn. But from a basketball standpoint, they're 18-1 to win the title. Explain to me how it works with LeBron.
Well, I think Windhorst said it. He said he was kind of dismissing Miami initially, not 100%, but for the most part. But he did, like, they need a ball handler and someone to orchestrate the offense. And maybe he wants that. And maybe, like, they're trying to get, wasn't Bradley Beal bought out and stuff? Maybe there's some of that. Westbrook doesn't, Kings don't want him back. Maybe there's this whole thing. This league is completely different than it once was. Players sort of care about winning, but they care about having fun and money. And I know JJ this week was talking about golf. I mean, who knows, right? There's a lot of variables here, and I think anyone who's complaining is just impatient. I remember, Paul, you remember this on your old radio show when I was in here, when I first lived here. I would defend Brett Favre. It's one thing to change your mind. That's on him. But the other thing is when, like, Ed Werder or Rachel Nichols is stationed in Mississippi doing live shots there when all he's doing is working out. It's the media that's making this, Panda Watch or whatever. It's not on him. So I
think he changed his mind.
That's fair too.
Yeah. I think he's a partner with Kalshi, and he's trying to set some sort of world record.
Kind of like the SEAL team member that went to was it Argentina or Venezuela?
Yeah.
So I just, again, I may be wrong, and if I am, so be it. But I don't think he knows his decision for 2 weeks, and he's just waiting for the World Cup to end or whatever these narratives people have. I just think there's a lot of moving parts, and he doesn't care about anyone else's impatience.
Also, hasn't he earned that right?
Yeah, I think we all have. Like trying to decide what you want to do with your next career move.
But if anyone in the NBA has the right to take his time and enjoy it, it's him.
Right, and also like what's the fall off? Now in the past, remember Gordon Hayward was in the building when Cleveland was coming back and all that's at some point it's detrimental to your next roster
and to other people.
Right, yeah, there's that component, but I think he's trying to figure things out and he doesn't really I don't think he's waiting for some celebratory thing. With that being said, didn't he do a tequila ad or something?
Do you remember
this last
a couple years
which was
ago?
So stupid.
A couple years ago, we thought it was a big announcement, and the announcement was he was sponsored by Hennessy or something
Hennessy,
like that.
That's what it was. I mean, that's so dumb. So again, he has demonstrated an inability to read the room. So I could be wrong completely.
I said this earlier. I'm a LeBron guy. I love him. But he makes himself very difficult to defend.
Well, yeah, I mean, the guy was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 17 or 18, right? Called The Chosen One, and that was his tattoo. So I think he has a better chance of identifying with a 19-year-old girl in Japan than he does us, right? I don't, whatever, it is. So he's been a phenom since day one. So it is what it is. And again, he has a team around him that hopefully helps him identify and understand and read the room. But I don't think they're doing a great job of it.
How long were you at ESPN?
11 years.
Okay. Wow. So I get this all the time. What has happened to ESPN? And now all the massive layoffs again and buying the NFL Network and all this money to Stephen A. and McAfee. And we were talking during the break, and I just loved SportsCenter. And as a guy, I love highlights. And now there's so many, Cowboys, Warriors, Lakers, taking the other side on purpose. It's how dumb do they think we are?
Think about talking about the rotary phone and glorifying it. That's what SportsCenter became, outdated and a tool. I did Highlight Express when I first got to ESPN, and it was just highlights. It was our training ground to get used to the system and the ecosystem. No one watched, 0.0, and they did away with it. Now it's on ESPN News, but if everyone wanted just highlights, they'd be watching that. It was just highlights. No one watched.
Okay.
So it's just, you already have them on your phone, okay? Mm-hmm. So the breaking news is no longer what happened. It's reacting to what happened. And that's why there's all these conversation/debate shows. It's the reaction to the news. That's why they originally did away with college football breaking news, and then Brett McMurphy, all that. It's the commentary, and the people the great journalists of yesteryear are now the great opiners of today. So no one's watching reruns of SportsCenter if it was just highlights. It's the reaction. Now, hot takes, you're right. It's the boy who cried wolf. But we also have a dumb country, okay? Mm-hmm. Springer gets ratings. PBS does not. Outside the lines, no one watched. So you guys can talk about journalism. I just want it clean. I just want it steady, 280 off the tee, down the middle. The masses don't watch that, okay? So now that there's a ratings world, that matters now because other companies that don't just depend on TV money, so to speak. So you got Netflix. You have Amazon, so there's deeper pockets. now they need to generate revenue off sales of ratings. Now it matters because these deeper pockets, that's what happened to TNT. They couldn't have this, they don't have the same infrastructure and the revenue sort of models to compete with the bids of these live rights. So live rights are all that matters. And then after that, these shows, like, they have to rate, or it's like, now you can argue with who they should have laid off and all that stuff, and no one bats 1,000, but it's a new age. And obviously these executives are doing, like, they know what they're doing. To a certain extent, right? No one's going to bat 1,000 looking back at their whole life. Maybe they would have changed a couple things. But yeah, my heart goes out to those people and all the layoffs, the people off camera. I know a buddy of mine who's a producer at NFL Network. He was at ESPN. That's how I knew him. He got laid off because they're consolidating companies now.
But here's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing them saying, well, nobody watches, nobody cares. Major League Baseball, right? They don't care about Major League Baseball anymore. It wasn't rating. Isn't there a job of the provider to make us care, to make it compelling and make it interesting and sell us stuff? Because with hockey, when it left ESPN, they stopped covering it. Hockey wasn't as popular. Then they got the rights deal. All of a sudden, hockey's back in the spotlight.
Yeah, ESPN's in the ESPN business. So basically, the reason the NBA accepted the bid of ESPN for the live rights, whatever it is, it may have been lower than Amazon and Netflix, but ESPN also says, with that, our bid of the live rights, you also get us talking about the NBA all day. So that's why they did that with the NHL, because they control the conversation throughout the day. TNT didn't have that luxury because they have reruns of Law and Order during the day, right? But during the day, they're going to talk about stuff that's on their air. Now, they're not going to shoehorn, like on Super Bowl Sunday, some product that they have but like that's why the WWE stuff and all this stuff. It's a business, and they can't do it all. But yeah, no one's watching reruns of highlights in the morning like we did when we were growing up. It's just,
I think I would. I would.
It's a different landscape. Do you now? You can now.
Where?
On ESPN, you can DVR and watch it over and over again.
No, because it's not even just the highlights show. It's all the other pieces
Sports Center
in the middle.
is pretty clear. I agree. They got away. When I was there, they did the 6, and they did some other nonsense. I get that pushback, and trust me, I was part of that internally. But it's pretty straightforward now. At night, the highlights. Van Pelt does a version of it that's great. But no one's like DVRing and watching. It's guys, we're just so much more like faster. Like we consume so much now, and there's more to it. Now, do I watch First Take? Of course not. But other people do, and it doesn't make it wrong or right.
So should you pay that guy $20 million a year? How many people are walking around saying, I cannot wait to hear what Stephen A says about the Cowboys tomorrow?
I'm not in charge. I don't have the metrics. I don't have the data. Okay. I don't have all the information. But that's the thought process. So these people glorifying sports center, it just was back with the rotary phone and the cordless phones.
Very good. Good
all
to
right,
see
man.
you.
Good seeing you. We're still 1-0.
Yeah, got that. Yeah.
A little insurance run would help.
Something interesting, too, we can tie in about the gal getting married during the season.
I'll do that tomorrow night with Will Hill on prime time. We got nothing else going on.
Smoke breaks are allowed? People do 10, 15-minute smoke breaks, take 10 of them a shift, and it's kind of like the same thing. Like, this is allowed? We're doing this?
I'm going to go spend 30 minutes in the bathroom scrolling on TikTok.
Dustin making a case to fade the Red Sox next.
No! Death wish.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Bottom of the ninth, 1-0 Cardinals. Woo! Trying to hang on against the Angels. 1 out. This has been wild, and it's a fun day with 17 baseball games, a couple doubleheaders. Arizona opened up a can on the A's 14-3 in the 8th, and the Pirates beat the Yankees 5-3, game 1 of a doubleheader. Red Sox 15 in a row. They beat Baltimore 6-3. Can they do it again and break the franchise record? You say no. They're getting ready to go. It's Rivera now and not Suarez. They're $1.25 against the Orioles. State your case.
I'm betting against fun. I'm betting against all the convention. You're one of two people. You bet into streaks. You bet against streaks. I'm going to be the guy betting against the streak. I don't think it continues. We're already on a historic run. We have to have peaked. And to me, if you're going to do it, you want to take advantage and maximize the number. I'm going to feel risky, get a little frisky. We're going to lay a 1.5 on the road with the Orioles. Plus 159 is what I got. It was plus 168, so it did come down a little bit here. I just think you got a better pitcher on the bump with Kyle Bradish. And this is a guy with ace stuff who Baltimore believes in to be their guy going forward. They just gave him an extension coming off the surgery from a couple years ago. Eduardo Rivera is on the other end. Eduardo Rivera has never been in this situation, not just because the Red Sox haven't before, but this is a guy making his 4th ever appearance in the majors. Feels like a lot of pressure for someone with inexperience. Baltimore pretty good at hitting home runs against lefties. You're at Fenway Park. You just need Taylor Ward. You need Pete Alonso. You need a couple of these righties to get a hold of a few. I like Baltimore to win -1.5. It's a doubleheader. You're asking a lot out of this team to keep the energy up in the same day.
Contagious. And the fans were furious, pissed at ownership. This is an outrage, and here they are now in the playoffs if they started today. And they would also, Tracy would have the record, longest winning streak for an interim manager as well if they get it done.
Do we have that market out here? How is he not manager of the year?
Yeah, that's a fun market, but I'm with you on that too. It's more globally, you can find it as well. But since 1961, there have been 7 15-plus winning streaks. And Boston has also won 20 of 22. It's 10 in a row against the division. And before the first game, during the streak, 22 home runs, 29 runs allowed. And then they go out and win 6-3, and the early 4-0 lead against Kramer was big as well. What a turnaround, what a story. It's why we love baseball. It's something.
Yeah, I'm not buying them long term. I mean, I'm going to look stupid. Right. I'm going to look stupid. I'm fine with it. I just think the number's gotten too short. Maybe if I was, ahead of the curve and I did this a couple weeks ago, I might be singing a different tune, but that's what we do here. We start defending our bets. Like with Jon Snow at the Battle of the Bastards. Good. Take out the sword, you're up against it. I just think if you look at the American League pennant right now, I would take a flyer on Cleveland at 10-1. They may not have the frontline ace that we're used to seeing them having, but Messick's awesome, Bybee's solid, Cantillo has his moments. Like, they've got enough arms there where I think and Gavin Williams is a stud, but also some of the position players they've called up lately with DeLauder and Bazana and this Petey kid who's headbutting the hitting coach on his way back to the dugout.
Yeah.
I like the vibes in Cleveland, even though the numbers long-term say for the year, offense isn't impressive. I think it's got a little bit of juice for postseason.
Dodgers taking money. Lauer $1.30 against Nola.
Oh, I love him.
Yep, 9.5 the total. They have won his last 7 appearances. And he has good numbers against the Phillies. The other thing is, if it's not the big 3, it's been a mess for Philadelphia. 14-31 is their record when it's the 5th starter or not some of the big names when they toe the rubber. And fate of Nola as well. And Mookie Betts has great numbers against him, hitting .420 career if you want to get involved with the props with him.
Philly not hitting lefties this year, 26th in average, 24th OPS. Nola, 6.50 ERA at home, 5.60 last 5 starts.
Oh.
Philly's 19-20 straight up against lefties, 24-15 team total under against lefties. What does that tell you? They don't hold their end of the bargain. They're not scoring, and they're going to give up a lot of runs because Aaron Nola's towing the rubber. Eric Lauer, 17-2 straight up going back to last year. When the total's 8.5 to 10, he's 7-0 since last season against teams hitting below 255, and then he's 9-1 straight up against teams with a winning record going back to the beginning of last season. Give me Lauer all day long.
All right, how about the Yankees? Fried making his first start since mid-May. $1.80 against Bubba Chandler. You don't like Chandler, total of 9. How about the over?
Yeah, I like the future of Chandler. I just don't think it's right now for him. Fried, man, it's been a long time since we've seen him. Pittsburgh, pretty good against lefties this year, but I think a lot of that's with Connor Griffin, who's injured right now, and his bat, the impact he has against southpaws. At this point, I would consider the over 9. They just played earlier today. They both used multiple relievers in the outing in extra innings. I think there's a chance we see some runs, but I'm very hesitant to get to the window with overs involving this Yankees lineup without Aaron Judge. When he's there, it's a totally different team. Without him, I don't know if they can win a playoff series as good as the pitching is.
The Blue Jays are now favored. What is going on?
Stop.
Jacks for the Rays, Fisher for the Jays, 7.5 the total, 6 back in the wild card. It's over. 4 runs their last 4 games. The Rays are 7-1 against them this year. Outscored them 49-23. What an organization. On pace for 94 wins. And they're 28-1 when they out-homer an opponent. They opened up a can on them last night as well. And, again, the issues with Vlad at home. And you got Big Earn, though. Earn's hitting .340 last 12. But this has been just a dumpster fire with the Blue Jays.
Tampa Bay, 5.5 to 1 to win the AL, 16 to 1 to win the World Series. Do they not feel
Not bad. Not bad.
See, I was going to say the opposite. Do they not feel like the Detroit Pistons? They have to give you the effort in the regular season. They have to be this good. The margin is so slim for them because they're just not that deep as they've been. in years past, but when we get to October baseball, it's about stars, and they just don't have that other than Caminero?
I think they're going to be a problem in October because of their pitching. Yes.
Okay.
I respect the organization. And it's also who's good. Like who now?
That's fair.
Yeah, because the Yankees could roll out Cole and Fried and Schlittler, but other than that, I mean, Seattle has their issues, and we'll see who's going to. That's why I'm surprised you're still anti-Boston with what they're doing.
If you like the pitching, would you consider Rasmussen as a shot in the AL? I'm really concerned with Cy Young and Cam Schlittler finishing the job. You just go look. Paul, he's never thrown anywhere near 200 innings in his career. I don't even think he's thrown 160 innings in his career. And this team needs him if they're going to be relevant. If they're going to make a push and win the pennant, Schlittler's got to be that number one because Garrett Cole isn't. Garrett Cole's probably more like a really solid 3-2 guy. You have Fried, you have Rodon. Warren stepped up, but I don't think that they can just let Schlittler let it fly the rest of the way without managing him here.
Yep. Ciccone, Cleveland, $1.35 coming up in 3 minutes against. They won 7-9 now. And the Twins in a funk. Yeah,
I considered it. I didn't get there. Bailey Ober's a guy I like to fade on the road. He over his career gives up a ton of contact in general for a guy who's like 6'9", doesn't have overpowering stuff. But on the road, he's always had bad numbers. And I think this Cleveland offense could be a little spicy at home. I don't hate the idea of Ciccone. Ciccone's had weird splits in his career year to year. This year, he is better at home than he is on the road. Missing more bats at home than normal, but he's still allowing opponent batting average of 283. Buxton's back from Minnesota. It's going to be a stay away, but you're right. It's up to -140 here at Circa.
Go against Perez and the Braves.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, King's been good. At least the bats woke up with the Padres. Perez's ERA is 7 going back last 3-4 starts.
That's my Iowa football, man. I'm always wrong about Iowa football. I'm always wrong about Martin Perez, but I'm fading him. I like even money on San Diego if you can find it. Perez is getting hit lately. He's also getting older. He doesn't have the same stuff. In his last 13 1/3 innings, 11 earned runs, 15 hits, 9 walks. San Diego's putting the ball in play. You have Machado hitting. Tatis is showing the power. Jackson Merrill went yard last night. And then Michael King, he just shut out the same Braves team he's seeing again here on June 22nd. 7 innings, 5 strikeouts. In his last 5 starts, Michael King is finding his form. A 2.54 ERA, 2 of those 5 against the Dodgers offense. I like what I'm seeing out of him.
Okay, and White Sox favored in Texas. Texas back in first place, -28 run differential. Well, that was surprising how well Rocker pitched, and they blew out the White Sox last night. But they think the White Sox bounced back with Anthony Kay tonight. $128.5 the total at DraftKings.
Yeah, I have no opinion on this one. I don't know what to make of the Rangers. I bet them to win their division. I think at plus 340.
Come on, Seattle. Let's go. There's 60 games left.
I think Seattle may go down as one of the most frustrating cores of players we're ever going to see. Is this not DeGrom, Syndergaard, Matt Wheeler? That kind of vibe where they're never all locked in at the same time. One of them's good, the rest of them are whatever. Yeah. Issues on the road, offense isn't good. It's a lot of hype for pitchers who never come through in the clutch.
Yeah, lost again today as well. Lost 5-3 against the Reds. NFL preseason only a couple weeks away. Getting ready for the Hall of Fame game August 6th. Locking our football special just $175 before the price goes up next month. Instant access to the NFL betting guide. The new Fantasy Life football guide comes out as well. Over 425 player profiles, projections, and rankings to help you prep for your fantasy draft. Love that. And you get VSiN Pro access across every sport through the Super Bowl. Every best bet, every host, every guest, the AI-powered prop projections. 24/7 video on the Watch app. Head to vsin.com/subscribe now. vsin.com/subscribe. Made it interesting, but the Cardinals won 1-0 against the Angels. Up next, what we're betting in pocket. A lot of baseball plays. And a good discussion, too, with Doug about a player getting married, missing time during the season with the WNBA. Straight ahead on VSiN, Follow the Money, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're on.
Well, Doug is right. It's a gong show, some of the stuff they do in this league. Final day until the All-Star break, 6 games. They played 2 during the day, and they just played a 105-102. But Minnesota, Seattle, 86-76 final. And last day we'll do this, 3 units, Odyssey Best Picture. The first day I watched it, it was 2-1. It is now minus 160. Wow. There's no telling how high this gets. Is it? So I know you were strong on Project Hail Mary.
No, it's gonna. But
it's good, right?
I'm willing to acknowledge my opinion is not the mass. The masses are gonna see this. This is Titanic stuff.
Totally agree.
It's a different spectacle.
Yeah, it's not one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's going to win
an experience.
It's going to win Best Picture
100%.
hands down.
It's not even close. I am in shock of one of your pending plays here. I've known you long enough to know you hate Matt Campbell.
Oh, I think he's terrible.
You're going over 8.5 wins on Penn State.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The schedule, though, is a joke.
So you think Iowa State last year is good to win 9 games in the Big Ten this year? Because that's what it is.
I saw the schedule. Hold on, though. Hold on with the schedule. No Ohio State, no Indiana, no Oregon. Come on. And Giants under 7.5 wins. I don't understand. That's the number 1 bet over win total.
I'm on it.
Over?
I'm on it. I've been on it since the day he was hired. I just
All about Harbaugh turning it around?
A couple things. I think the defense got so many major upgrades. The offense wasn't an issue last year. The defense, they couldn't cover anyone. They couldn't stop the run. That was with Dexter Lawrence, okay? Everyone's like, oh, they're going to miss Dexter Lawrence. They stunk at stopping the run with him. They brought in veterans on the D-line, Newsome at corner. They drafted the other kid, Colton Hood, from Tennessee. The safety position solid. Linebacker's been improved. I think offensively, Likely's going to be awesome. You need Neighbors to be healthy. I understand that's a big issue, but I believe in Dart. I believe in Dart, even though I think he's going to run for Congress or something next year.
Those guys need to calm down. He won 4 games last year. Him and Scatterboo, it's like, okay.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Smart people can say stupid things. Cam Scatterbo, dumb person doing dumb things consistently.
Dodgers coming up against the Phillies. Fate of Nola, and also Lauer's been awesome, and Liberty Sky over coming up in the WNBA 178.5. Go get him. Go get him, Dustin. What do you got?
I'm on the Dodgers with you. They just got underway. You can't back Aaron Nola. You can't believe in this guy. On the other side, Eric Lauer is another example of if you're cast off and you go to the Dodgers, they'll sit you down. They go, this is what you stink at. This is what you're good at. We're going to make sure you only do what you're good at going forward. Philadelphia not great against lefties in the year, so I'm riding Miami. I'm riding the Dodgers in this spot. I'm also on the Padres money line. Martin Perez is a bugaboo for me, I admit it, but I just think this is a spot where San Diego on the road, offense is clicking. Atlanta still doesn't really look all the way right. I like San Diego with Michael King as an edge on the bump. And then the Orioles, I'm going against the Red Sox history in the streak. -1.5 on the road at Fenway, +159.
What a buzzkill.
It's a lot of energy you have to keep up for the end of a doubleheader. I don't think they were taking blue pills in that locker room in between these games. And then finally, let me make the case here.
Not you. Another guy drinking a Kool-Aid at decent.
You're concerned we all love Cincinnati. I think I'm all in on Cincinnati. Joe Burrow MVP 10-1.
Hold on, let me read this first.
Yeah.
Still on case?
Yeah.
Okay. Decent NFL betting guide out now, whether you're betting futures, win totals, division races, MVP, Rookie of the Year. Our guide helps you get ahead of the market before camps begin. Breakdowns of every team, win totals, best bets, futures, power ratings, and more. Football special, 175. Get it today. Lock it in. Hall of Fame game only 2 weeks away. VSiN.com/subscribe now. Hit me. What do you got?
All right. In the NFL guide, I wrote up Brock Purdy 22-1 MVP.
Yeah.
The only other MVP I'm considering right now, and I am now adding to the portfolio, is Joe Burrow 10-1. Okay. This is the only team in that division in the North with continuity. It might be Zach Taylor, but at least they know what they're doing coming into the year. They have to get off to a fast start. He is fired. If they start 1-3, he's gone because they can still salvage the season. They have to have a sense of urgency out of the gate. You have the offense. We know what it is at this point. You have Chase Higgins, Ishavas, a couple of good tight ends, Chase Brown at running back. But the defense is going to be better. The defense isn't going to blow games, which then gives Burrow a chance for these big moments. But have you looked at the opponents that they're facing this year? Their past defenses from a year ago. They opened Tampa Bay 27th a year ago. Houston was 5th, but then it's Pittsburgh 29th, Jacksonville 20th, Miami 18th, Baltimore 30th. They have one top 5 pass defense from a year ago. They have 3 top 10s, and one of those is Cleveland without Myles Garrett. Do we think that their pass rush is going to take a step back? They faced last year's 31st, 30th, 29th, 28th, and 27th pass defenses. The first 6 games, 5 versus 18th or worse. I just think that his number could shorten up very quickly with the opponents they have on the schedule before their bye. Maybe this is one of those deals where you place a couple bets. I like doing this with futures. I'll place one that I'm planning on cashing out if it becomes live, and then one I plan on riding for the rest of the year. I think he can go from 10-1 down to like 4-1 in the market because of their schedule, and then you could do something with the ticket. But I think he has a chance to win the whole thing. I believe.
Right. The numbers are out for the World Cup, and they're staggering with the handle.
I mean, it should be.
It
was played in America. It was played on our schedule. It fit what we were doing every day.
Well, let me read this. This is the Hard Rock Vice President, Sportsbook. The World Cup will go down as the biggest betting event in American history. We're talking the equivalent of 10 Super Bowls. A sport where once told Americans would not embrace turning one for the history books. The whole country wanted in. It was 30% greater handle than the March Madness. And going back 4 years ago, DraftKings took 650% more bets. BetMGM 211% than 4 years. Oh my, 10 Super Bowls.
Well, they were. Yeah, that is a crazy number. I knew it mattered because I cared and I never care. That's kind of my gauge on if it registers or not. Here's the question: between now and 4 years, are we more relevant in the conversation? Are we beyond where we want to be? Because that tells us there's a hunger, there's an appetite for soccer to be more part of our day-to-day lives.
No. Once we finally played a good team, we got exposed.
I agree. We do this every year.
It was the perfect storm, though, with all the stars were scoring. It was high scoring, and the times. And it was USA, Canada, and Mexico as well. Totally. 60 million people watched the final Sunday.
Well, that's
who knows?
crazy.
Yeah, like if we could ever get there, or even if like Mexico in a semifinal or something, the numbers that could do 60 million.
We are losing some of the star power for the next one, though, right? We're not going to have Messi.
Yeah, right. No Ronaldo.
We're not going to have Ronaldo.
Yeah.
There's one more that I'm forgetting that's not going to be a part of it. So what does that do to the numbers? Does star power matter, or does national pride continue to carry it? Like that's what to look at with those numbers next time.
That'll hurt a little bit. Yeah. But it also comes down to when the game's starting and are we any good?
But you care about soccer.
That's interesting. So the Premier League starts in a month. What do you think happens? Do they capitalize on this or no?
Well, at the peak of this, I was putting on social media who should be my Premier League team.
Yeah, I saw that.
People were torturing me, telling me I should root for Tottenham because they're like the Mets. I said, I don't want another Mets.
I think I responded, Newcastle.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna watch, and whoever I have an affinity for, I'm just gonna jump on that bandwagon. But I don't want to root for the best team. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I could do what the kid. Can you believe kids today? And I offended some. I was working with Malusis, and I didn't realize his kid was like this. I said, where are the parents of these kids that allow they live in New York, but they're Pelicans fans because they like the jerseys or they like Zion and
bad parenting.
And I said, it's bad parenting. He goes, my kid does it for every sport. I'm like, oh, my bad. Put my foot in my mouth.
Come on, let me give a shout out to 2 listeners. We missed them yesterday with Tip Jar Pizzeria. George has a 5,000 to 1 shot. He's got half the ticket in. VGK wins the West, Carolina East, Center, I think Wimbledon, whatever. Spain to win the World Cup. He needs Ohio State and the Rams.
That's a good
5,300 to 1. Dan in Tennessee. Fleetwood, top 5 cashed. He has the Rams to finish a big ticket, and he has either Phillies or Dodgers. It's a double. Phillies or Dodgers World Series.
Who loses this one for me? That's 4,200 to 1, basically. I cashed Brunson Finals MVP 250, Spain World Cup 4.5 to 1.
Okay, Dodgers World Series.
Plus 190.
Commanders make the playoffs.
That's the one I'm regretting. I don't know why I did that.
Oregon wins the Big Ten. Georgia wins the SEC. Miami wins the ACC.
It's the Commanders one. I don't know why I did that. Why didn't I lay a number there?
Yeah. Take that. Yeah.
I wish I had the option to remove it. Hey, there's a chance.
to win.
There's a chance. That
Great
one
job.
pays for a good chunk of my wedding if it hits. Tell you
Great
that.
job. Kudos to you. Thanks for going out and checking out the Odyssey.
Now go see Project Hail Mary. It's better.
Yeah. Come on. All right. JJ's in tomorrow and Friday. Maybe we'll get a decision with LeBron. VSiN Primetime coming up next. And stay tuned for this morning with By the Books every morning as well. And watch on VSiN with the Circa Survivor contest as well tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern.